We think this aircraft museum is one of the best kept secrets in Colorado. Back in the early 70s, about 72, Fred Weisbrod was the city manager here in Pueblo, and he began collecting aircraft by arrangement with the military. And these aircraft sat outside here for many years. And then in 1985, a group of veterans got together and decided it'd be a good idea to restore some of these aircraft and try to find a way to raise money to get them indoors. But more than that, Pueblo is perhaps now unaware that this was a very, very important air base, Army air base during the war. This demonstration here shows the air base. In 91 days they built all of this and served about 4,000 military people as they trained pilots for bombers. And when the war was over, they tore it all down. There's only one building still remaining, but it is a very historic air base. And it's an important part of Pueblo's history.
The B-29, of course, was our largest plane during World War II and was the one that came in toward the end of the war, dropped the bombs that ended the war on Japan, the atomic bombs. Now, this particular plane was named after Peachy, which is Jane Wilcoxon. She married Mr. Wilcoxon, and her brother, Haver, was the one who flew a plane and named it after his sister. And she was known as Peachy. And he had this decal put on the side of his B-29. And so we feel that it's a very appropriate thing and a historic thing for us to have both the plane and also the connection with this pilot in Pueblo.
One of our recent efforts to make this museum more alive and more relevant to students today is we've just built here under the wing of the B-29 a 1,200 square foot area that we call our STEM lab, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And in here we're explaining how things fly. So the students come in here and we can explain the physics and the science behind flying machines.
All Army air bases had a variety of support vehicles, and this is one of them that would have been on one probably closer to the front lines. There's a half-track with a 50 caliber machine gun up above, and it's one of the highlights of a visit for kids when they come out here. Yeah, we have artifacts not only from the United States and other allied forces, but also from our enemies. And this flag, which is actually a big banner, was captured and brought back from Germany.
Helicopters are increasingly and have been increasingly important in our war efforts, Korea, Vietnam. This particular helicopter was in Pleiku in Vietnam. In fact, if you look here, our restoration guys you'll see a cherry pictured over every bullet hole. There are 17 actual bullet holes in this aircraft. There were 50 caliber machine guns, one on each side of this aircraft, and the gunners would paint on here their accomplishments. These are trucks that they took out, guns that they took out, and enemies that they took out, and you'll see that on both sides of the airplane. This helicopter here is rather famous. Even though we didn't know it for 25 years, it sat out here in the junkyard. It turns out that this very helicopter assisted with the recovery of Alan Shepard, our first astronaut to go around in the capsule when they had to recover him from the ocean. So this isn't the actual helicopter that lifted him, but it flew right beside it, and it was even featured on the Life magazine in 1961. Once we got this helicopter restored, the local Walmart store gave us the equipment to be able to do a movie in here, show a movie in here, and NASA presented us with the original footage of that event using this helicopter.